Welcome, one and all. It's Thursday again. It's 9 o'clock. We're back again. It seems like only yesterday we was talking to John Boy Mayers, and now there were three.
Yeah, which one's one and which one's all?
Well, before we get on to this, right, there's normally four. I've posted today, the four horsemen were back. To everyone in the chat, welcome. We have just had this from Mr. Tom Malin. Let me know if you can hear it. Here we go.
Hi mate, it's only me. I've literally just been called out. I will try and get back and join you if I can, but I don't know what I'm going to be doing. So really sorry to let you down at the last minute, but my beeper's literally just gone off. I'll see you later. Bye.
Now, for those of you in the chat that don't know, Tom is now a fireman, and I think this is the first time he's been called out.
I think you can tell by the panic in his voice that was the first time he'd been called out.
There's two things that I love about it. It's not the first time that his beepers went off in front of us. And second of all, he thought that he had to let us know whilst he was going to rescue someone from a burning building. Mm-hmm. Oh, God bless you.
You can imagine him like mid-pole slide.
Whoa,
easy. Making the message. As he slid down the pole.
I just think this is what happens on the Killer Comic Show. It's live. It happens. I mean, last week we had John Boy Mayers just upped and took a piss because he had too much mocha. But that's what happens. We're live. It's what happens. So before we go, let's give a shout out to the chat. We've got copy 801, the copy 801 of the Comic Encyclopedia, all the way from across the pond. How are you doing, dude? Nice and that's what we like to see. We have Darren himself, it's Mr. Poptimus UK. I loved your post earlier. I actually thought they were fake Funko Pop Master Id photoshopped on, but they are actually something that Funko are now doing to ruin everything that they've done before.
Absolutely horrendous. The thing is, if they were masks that went all the way over, I think it would be all right, but they look like just those kind of vacuum form, very odd.
We've got ABZ Comics. Thank you for joining, sir. We have, who else? We've got Luke, Hydra Collectibles. Not happy with you, mate. I thought my comics were worth millions, but you kind of shut me down. So, but we go again.
He's showing you up, mate.
And we've got a very special guest. We have Jeremy Holt. Now, this is the writer of Andy's Comic of the Week. It is Made in Korea. Thank you so much for joining. Sit back, relax. We will give reviews of all the comics, and I'm sure we'll touch on yours in a bit. So thank you very much for joining. We have everyone.
We liked it.
We do. We've got everyone's favourite tennis ball. It's Fuzzy Dunlop. How you doing?
Yo, Fuzzy.
Yo, Fuzzy. And we've got VP. Very mysterious. How you doing, VP? First time on the channel. So thank you very much.
Kamala. Welcome.
It is. So how's everyone's week been? Busy? I know, Andy, you've been swamped under. Ben, you've probably been busy as well.
Busy. It's always busy. But do you know what's got me through it is the fact that I've known that we're going to be doing this. So this is a free therapy that we look forward to every Thursday. So I really look forward to tonight.
Well, do you know what? Like, for everyone that was in the chat last week and asked some questions, we've got quite an exciting thing. Now, I don't know whether we should do it at the start or should we make them wait so they have to watch the whole show and do it at the end?
Yeah, it forces them to watch the whole show. So just make them wait. Yeah, they can wait to the very last moment.
And I guess what we could also do as well, Charlie, unless we get 12 thumbs up, then it doesn't activate. Is that not what the tubers do?
Yeah, I think if it doesn't get 12 thumbs up, then we can't activate it. We've got Phil's just joined us. How you doing, Phil? Thanks for tuning in, mate. What has he said? Wait until he finds out it's Ben that's pranked called the Fire Brigade. Ben, you haven't, have you? You haven't, have you?
I don't know how he even knew that. But...
And I've got a nice comment here from Jeremy. These accents your accents are making me smile. What accent in particular? Because I'm a Cockney and sometimes I have, I can't even understand what I'm saying. So that makes me smile that you can understand clearly what I'm saying.
It's not mine. It's definitely yours because you're like a cartoon version of a Scotsman and you're like a cartoon version of a Londoner. Mine's pretty neutral. So he definitely means you two.
Okay, the new.
Who is this? ABZ, wife and daughter at the park, expecting a call soon for pickup, but I will be back within 5-10 minutes. That's not a problem. We are here for the foreseeable
Leave them
50
there. They can wait. It's like an
53
hour and a
minutes.
half of their life. Like, it's fine. Like, this is important. Stay.
All of them. They're better than the American accent. Thank you so much, Jeremy. You are a good friend of the Killer Comic Show already. Now, as always, we've picked comics to review. I picked Shadecraft #3. Andy picked Made in Korea issue #1. Ben picked Ha Ha issue #4. And Tom, who is sliding down a greasy pole as we speak, chose Something is Killing the Children #16. Now, we're going to have to try and go in the order that I've put these in, because I've got to change it around, because obviously Tom's not here. So
Tom.
There we go. Right, so let's see what order we went with to begin with. Right, hold on. I've got my other screen set up here. This is awkward because right, so the first comic was Something is Killing the Children. So did all of us read that comic?
I did.
Absolutely. Yep.
I think we should just let's just jump straight into. We might as well do it, because you never know, we might call us on the back of a fire brigade. But let's just see. Let's get into this. Share screen. There we go. And as always, here we go. So this week there was a fair few covers out. To be fair, I think there was 45 covers.
Please don't go through them all, Charlie. We've all sat
I've
through your Monday video. We don't need that again.
Did you say Monday video, Ben? Is it a video on a Monday?
Every Monday, 12 o'clock. Charlie tells you every single cover there is. No, jokes aside, it's amazing. Please watch it. Support.
It takes a lot of time and effort. I'm only joking. I enjoy doing it for everyone, and the comments that I get and the feedback that I get is great.
It's a public service you're doing, Charlie. You're doing God's work.
Pretty much like Tom, if you look at it like that. No? Okay, what's up? We've got everyone's favourite comic burrito. Thanks for joining, dude. More than welcome here. Thank you so much. So obviously we had Something's Killing the Children. It was on a hiatus for about, a couple of months, wasn't it? It ended on issue 15 with Erica Slaughter leaving from what she'd done behind. And this has been very popular, hasn't it, Andy?
Oh, totally. This has had a huge amount of buzz about it, because it was sort of the backstory to Erica Slaughter and how she became part of the House of Slaughter. And for me, I'm going to throw it out there, guys, this was the best issue of Something is Killing the Children thus far. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. The artwork was superb as normal, but just the human element to the story was so different to what we were used to. It was just like, Erica Slaughter killing lots of monsters, and then it just sort of stopped, and it was so tranquil, and there was more of a human element to it. I absolutely loved it, and if anybody was thinking about dropping this or didn't pick this up, they're definitely missing out. I'm actually more looking forward to what this has to offer. So yeah, it was fantastic.
And I think Darren's right. I think it is went through to Tuesday just showing his covers. As I mentioned, there was 306 comics out this week, and 249 of them were Something is Killing the Children, the Department of Truth, and even Black Panther. So I think one of you guys messaged me saying Something is Killing the Variants.
Yeah, something is killing the comic collector's wallet. That's what it was.
But just on a side note, we had to hit 12 thumbs up. We're on 13 already. We've got 13 thumbs up, and we've got 2 thumbs down. Not everyone's.
I tell you what, you entice these people with a prize, and they'll do anything. They'll jump through hoops. They'll suck you. I like this book. Yeah. I liked it a lot. I agree with you, Andy. I think, the kind of the emotional side of it was handled fantastically, and in a way, I'm very glad that they did a story first where Erica was kind of had a lot of mystery behind her, and we kind of got to know her as the end result, so to speak. I kind of like that we've got to experience that before now going back and meeting little Erica. And can I just say, little Erica is as lovable as big Erica. Yeah. She's fantastic, and you can already see those little kind of quirks and that kind of darkness coming through and stuff. And I just felt like it went really quickly, and that's probably a sign of an amazing book where you kind of feel like you picked it up and put it down within a blink, because it just flows so kind of smoothly and yeah, the transitions are fantastic. I felt like it went really quick. How do you know how long this arc is planned for? This kind of origins arc before they go back? Or
I mean, I can only assume like
before they go back to the future.
The first one went on to 15, so I mean, I guess anything from another 6 to 10, I guess.
Yeah.
Hasn't been confirmed, but I mean, it's interesting that you said that this story went pretty quick, because it probably went quicker than going through all the covers. I mean, there's 12 that I picked. There's 12 that I've picked from. We've got the main cover by Weather Deledra. We have the Slab City Comics exclusive set cover A and the Virgin cover B. We had, what else did we have? We had the Big Time Collectibles Miko Cyan exclusive variant. This is very much reminds me of the last running cover that he did.
Yeah.
We've got Scott's Collectibles. It is, yeah, the old copy and paste. Scott's Collectibles exclusive trade cover A and trade cover C. We had Ji Hyung Lee trade set cover A and the exclusive trade set cover A for the 221 comics cover A and B. And then we had
going back to those covers, Charlie, just quickly, that's those ones to the right, that's not Erica, is it? That's her mentor, is it?
Yes. Yeah. And I think Erica is obviously in the shadow of the blade. Cool. And then we've got the Caps Can Comics exclusive variant, the State of Comics exclusive Anderson POV Virgin variant cover, which was Andy's cover of the week. And then we had the Third Eye Comics exclusive, and I think that was everything. Oh no, we've got Comic Time exclusive set cover trade A, the 1 in 25 Infante incentive, and everyone's favourite female artist at the moment. It's the one and only Jenny Frisson with the incentive variant as well. So if you are still with me and still wide awake, this comic, I've got to say, I absolutely loved it. Her backstory, I mean, the opening 3 or 4 pages of it was just badass.
Yeah,
badass.
This issue could have went horribly wrong, because the first 15 issues have been so great and everybody's been talking about it, and issue 1 to 5 is going through the roof on eBay. So they had a lot to lose in this issue, and they just didn't disappoint. As I say, it was arguably the best issue that I've read in the entire series. So fair play to Boom Studios, and I just can't wait to see how it develops and what happens next. I guess they're going to have to bring in a few more characters just to keep it fresh. I hope they don't do a whole Batman on it, but no, it's great. And that Jenny Frisson cover, that's the cover that I picked up. So
it's just so consistent. Like, I don't know any other series that has consistently for 16 issues now been brilliant every time. Even, God forbid, Batman or some of my most beloved Marvel titles like Beta Ray Bill, even they have their dips in form. So, yeah.
It's interesting.
I think no, go ahead, Charlie. Sorry.
I was just going to say, it's interesting what Luke said. He said, it's a great series. Yes, I sold my run, but I still read it and will buy the trade omnibus. Do you think, because this has the potential to go on, like we're probably talking about 30 odd issues and stuff, do you think a lot of people are going to this is going to drop off their radar and they're just going to do what Luke's doing and pick up the trades and omnibuses and stuff like that? Or do you think, I think with this one, this is again blown it out the water with 45 variant covers, the store exclusives and stuff. People are jumping back on the hype train again that kind of missed it the first time around.
Yeah, I think they'll do both, to be honest with you. I think it's such a popular series. I think this issue's just reinforced how good it is. And with regards to the omnibus, I mean, there's 2 versions that are coming out. I think it's on previews for Odin at the minute, and there's a slipcase version, and it's literally just a black cover with the mask. That's totally going to sell out and then go for a huge amount of money on eBay. So if anybody's thinking about getting that, definitely pick it up.
Is this the one Phil's talking about?
That's the one. Yeah, 100%.
Guys, marketing opportunity, right? How they've missed a trick with this. How have they not released a plush doll of the octopus?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Come on.
Well,
not yet.
Yeah, I did say for the 7 Secrets, I tried to get, we all tried to get them and for Killer Comics for them to do the suitcase.
Yeah, but it needs to be something that people actually want, Andy, not 7.
Stop it, Ben. I know you're not a fan. Stop it.
Where's the disconnect button for Ben? I can't find it at the moment. But Comic Burrito, it said,
I think just put him over my face. That'll do the trick.
Just a big burrito.
Why not? You have a big burrito over your face. I think a lot of people were pretty cold
in and around my mouth.
I think a lot of people were pretty cold on issue 15, like it had to happen, but it was a dud overall compared to the rest of this. Somebody's killing the children, right? I think it was, and I think I use Andy's phrase. 15, yeah, it come to an end, but it was pretty much a filler issue leading in to this issue.
Yeah,
and it's definitely
100%.
worth the wait. Definitely worth the wait. It would have been
Loved it.
interesting to find out what Tom thought about it, considering it was his choice of comic.
Why don't you
never
just
know.
like text him? It's not as if he's like busy.
Let's give him a text and say, "Are you busy yet, or what?"
Can you tell us about something that's
I've
killing the
been called out.
children whilst
I've
you
got to go.
something is saving the children? That's basically
That is it.
basically Tom at the minute.
That was it. But I mean, it was a great comic. I mean, if you haven't read it already, have you been living under a rock, or you're just kind of not interested in it? But this is definitely, I think this is kind of, if you've missed the first 15 issues, you can kind of start this afresh, because I think the way that it's going, the way that they've done it, they've been pretty smart. Like Tinian's been pretty smart, but the way he's done it is kind of like close that book, and there was opening up a second chapter. So I guess halfway through we're going to have some interlinks and we're going to find out stuff. But she's a
That's a
badass,
great
man.
jumping on point.
Yeah.
But that's I guess that's a smart thing, because they know that they've got the omnibus coming out. They want people to pick this up and go, oh my goodness, what have I been missing? They're going to look to see what the price of issue 1 to 5 is and go, okay, I'll look for the omnibus, and then sales of the omnibus just go through the roof. So it's a fantastic market play.
Yeah. And obviously, like Fryholt, I grabbed the Frisson, but the colour version, first Frisson and SIKTC. See what I
Welcome
mean,
to the
mate?
Frisson Club.
Welcome
That's
to the
an
Frisson Club.
official member.
She's absolutely killing it at the moment. Some of these Batman and Catwoman covers that she's put out are truly sensational.
I might be in love.
Yes.
I think I am. But anyway, so that is Boom Studios, Something's Killing the Children, issue number 16, in stores and online now. And we have next, I don't know what comics we have next. There we go. It's your comic, Andy. The fantastic Made in Korea. Absolutely amazing.
What can I say about Made in Korea? So I've been bigging this book up since it was announced on previews. I just had a feeling. I just had one of those feelings that this was going to be pretty special, and I certainly wasn't disappointed. So this is a 6-issue miniseries from Image Comics, and I believe there was only one cover, unless there's some sort of variant or store exclusive that I'm not aware of. But
maybe Jeremy, who's in the chat, could let us know.
Jeremy
that.
may be able to confirm for
obviously
us.
this is the main cover by Jules Shao. For people in the chat, we do have the writer of Made in Korea in the chat, if he's still there, or if we bored him with our accents and he's gone already. But yeah, maybe it was just the one. There we go. He has confirmed that it was just the one cover. So thank you very much.
Perfect. So yeah, Jeremy Holt is the writer, and George, and I'm hoping pronouncing this, is it Chal is the artist. So anybody that doesn't know Jeremy's work, Jeremy's done previous work like Southern Dog from Action Labs and Skip to the End by Heavy Metal. And you can tell that I had to Google that. So that this, I had a little look, because this was so good that I went to see the other work that Jeremy had actually done. So I'll definitely be looking to pick those up as well. So we try our best not to give spoilers on this. So I think this is the sleeper book of 2021.
Here we go. Jeremy just said George and I discussed, and we didn't want to do the variants.
Oh, thank the Lord, Jeremy. Like, too many variants these days. Less variants. Like, this is, you know how you make something iconic? Make it the only bloody thing available. And this cover is fantastic. You don't need a variant, you know.
I think it's a great choice, and there's people in the chat as well. Fuzzy Dunlop has said, I absolutely love this cover. I could see it on posters, T-shirts, everything so stylish. And 100%. Comic Burrito. Oh, hey, Jeremy Holt. Thanks for making this issue I picked up for my #1 issue of the week. So it seems you are killing it at the moment, Jeremy. We are very much looking forward to issue number 2 and 3. But I mean, this was a surprise read for me. It was, I read it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And to be fair, it was a very thought-provoking and stylish comic. It's totally different to what's out there at the moment, to be fair.
That's exactly what got me. This was a sleeper comic of 2021 for me, 100%. I think it's went under a lot of people's radar, and I would highly recommend that people pick it up. So we try our best not to give spoilers on the Killer Comic Show. Yeah. A lot of the time we fail, but I'm going to do my best and give a bit of a synopsis about it. So this story basically centers around a couple of interconnected stories. So you've got the story of a couple who are looking to adopt a child, but what we find is that child is effectively this uber realistic android, and it's programmed to behave just like any normal daughter or son would. And then there's another story at the beginning where it's a Korean programmer, and he's trying to sort of crack a code that would affect the android's behavior. And it's just absolutely fantastic how they intertwine both those stories. And it's got so much, it just basically draws you in from the very first issue. Charlie, did you think the same? Or?
Well, actually, I was just going to say, like, Jeremy, if you wanted to come on and talk about the comics, you've got like a spare 5 or 10 minutes, drop me a DM on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll send you the link and stuff. But I've got to say, I was really impressed with this comic, like the way that it kind of shifts, as you said, from the computer analyst putting in the data to go into like the whole switcheroo of the family setup and stuff like that. It was, I just found it really engaging. Like, I mean, Image are absolutely killing it at the moment. We say it week in, week out. We mentioned it on last week's show with John Boy that indie comics are really pushing to the forefront of making engaging, interesting, thought-provoking comics. And this, for me, is so up there at the moment. I mean, as first issues go, this was great.
Yeah. I mean, once again, Andy suggested something that this idiot superhero fan would have passed by. And I'm, again, grateful, Andy. I'm getting bored of saying it now. For you bringing this to our attention. I mean, Jeremy's kind of command of just kind of interaction between people, I think, was perfect. Like I felt like those kind of exchanges between the couple, just it read really naturally. Like that is how couples talk, and I really enjoyed that. I mean, I'm massively drawn to the idea of being able to turn my child off or reset. That would be great. It reminded me a lot of do you remember AI, the film with Jude Law as the robot Bigelow? Yeah, it reminded me a lot of that. And I always feel like that film is very kind of overlooked, and it had quite a bit of impact on me actually as a watching it as a young man sort of thing, and it's always stuck with me, and it just reminded me a lot of that. But yeah, the artwork as well was just so clear, and each kind of panel had a really crisp and had a clear focus point. There wasn't tons of stuff kind of going on in the background. Each panel kind of had its clear, this is what you've got to concentrate on, and I enjoyed that. So yeah, I'm like fully intrigued. I'm on board, ready for the second issue.
Well, it's going to be great because Jeremy's going to jump on. I've just sent him the link, so he'll be jumping on soon. And Tom is on his way back.
There we go.
So
it's all coming together, Charlie.
It's all coming together. It's like this has been planned. But I think this, I mean, I'm really enjoying this. And like, obviously, it reminded me, I think Sean just said, it made me think of AI and Daryl to a degree. It made me think of iRobot a kind of bit, especially this cover, where they're all lined up and like it's the AIs coming together and coming alive and they're going to take over the world. But I think I really enjoyed it. I'm just looking forward to seeing how Jeremy came to like the thought process of kind of getting around to coming up with such a situation like this. Because I think we've said time and time again, you've got to have something going on to think of comics like this. Do you know what I mean? There's got to be something there. There's got to be, and I think obviously like this talk that AIs are going to take over the world and stuff like that. But with the who's on the front cover? Is it Jess or Jessie?
Jessie, yeah, Jessie. We touched on the artwork ever so slightly there, and I totally agree with Ben. It was like super clean, super crisp. It was almost like when you were diving into the book, it was like as if someone had taken the Apple store. You know how you walk into an Apple store and it's all like feng shui and clean and crisp and bright. It was like you were diving into a story. So the artist done a fantastic job, and the way that they use the colors as well. So you've obviously got it set in Korea, and then you've got it set in Texas as well, and they differentiated between the two countries effectively by the different colors that they used.
The sort of neon lights of the clubs of Korea were just beautiful.
Absolutely, yeah, it was so nice. So yeah, this for me is definitely the sleeper book. As I said, we've been really lucky over the last 2 weeks. So we've had The Many Deaths of Layla Starr last week, which was my single favorite issue this year so far, and then we've had Made in Korea issue 1, which for me is definitely up there. I'm so intrigued. I'm so invested in this book, even after one issue, and I just can't wait to issue 2.
And there we have him,
Nice,
Mr. Jeremy Holt.
how's it
Thank you
going?
so much for joining us.
Yeah, it's been awesome to listen to all of you talk about comics with such passion, and I don't read that many comics these days, so it's just great to hear you all talk about them.
But no, thank you for jumping on. I know you've been speaking with Andy on Twitter and stuff like that. So I know it's last minute. I just literally put you on the spot and see if you wanted to come on. So we won't take up too much of your time. But I mean, yeah, did you just want to go over a few bits like how you came to come up with this concept and how you worked with like Jules Shaw to create such an amazing cover?
Yeah. So I mean, the idea stemmed from this concept. I've long believed that every good AI story at its root is an adoption experience. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think anyone's ever tackled that directly. And as a transracial adoptee, I thought it was like a perfect opportunity to explore my own feelings about being adopted through the lens of science fiction.
I mean, it is, as I said to you on Twitter, it is very thought-provoking because probably in not the too distant future, this is kind of what's going to happen in probably like 3000 and everything like that. This is going to become the norm. I mean, we've all grown up with.
If
like,
we make it that far, Charlie, let's be honest.
I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Can you not tell by my skin? I'm only like, you know, I'm not even breaking puberty yet. But we've all grown up with like cartoon like the Jetsons and stuff like that. So like AI technology within the comics and TVs has been there. So to have a comic like this, there's nothing out there like this at the moment. I mean, you look at Image, you look at Boom Studios, it's all kind of like your horror, your subjects that you're not touching on. This is so different. And I mean, it's the first time you've done an Image comic. You've been trying for what, 12 years now, and you finally cracked it. So congratulations to that.
Thank you. I've been pitching the Image for years, and it's just refreshing to hear that you all think that it's fresh, because to be honest, I've been looking at that first issue for 4 years. I mean, that's when I had it. I mean, I finished writing the entire series in 2019, and I've just been working on other things. And reading the first issue, I kind of felt like it wasn't a very strong first issue. So seeing all of the response, it's like, no, I think I've just been rereading this first issue way too much. And I just felt like, because it took so long to get it published, I was worried something was going to come along in a similar vein about AI, because I think a lot of people love that genre, but I'm surprised no one's really tackled it kind of from an experience of like two different worlds, both Korea and Texas in my story.
I mean,
I almost read it that AI wasn't even that was almost a backdrop, to the actual kind of the family story that was going on. That for me is what kind of felt at the core of the story. Did you have like a direct inspiration? Sorry, off my shelf. So I'm part of the panel, so you can wait. Did you have an inspiration for the couple? Because I just felt like it was really natural and their kind of interactions and stuff.
I think I was inspired by friends of mine that a white couple that actually went to China to adopt a child, a much older child, which was pretty unique. But I really wanted to show, what is it like, or for adopted parents, the maternal instinct or the paternal instinct. And I wanted to show this very strong divide between the parents, where Sulin is very nurturing and Bill still is looking at Jessie as like a product. And I wanted to kind of show the complexities of what it means to be a parent.
No, that's
I'm living that as we speak.
Yeah. I just love the fact that it was so sort of human and relatable. It's not just as you said, Ben, an AI story or a science fiction story, as it were. That's kind of like the backdrop of it. And I think because it was so relatable, it meant that I was so invested. So my question, I guess, is, we know that this is a 6-issue sort of mini series. Do you know if of course, have you plans to do more? Because I know that I'm going to want more after the 6th issue.
George and I have ideas. I have a loose idea for the second arc and the third arc. So we'd want to do 8 issues, but we really need to see how this first arc does. sales wise, because you know, George and I are totally okay with it, this being it, one and done. And to your point about the lack of like hard science, I didn't really want to get into the nuts and bolts of how any of the technology works, because I think if you just set it up, people can fill in the gaps themselves. And it was, to me, it's more about the interactions, the character development, because I think that's just more interesting than hitting people over the head with some fancy tech, which honestly, I can't explain any of that stuff. I'm not a scientist. I'm not I don't have that kind of science brain. So I just wanted to set the stage and just let the characters play out.
I don't think there's any scientist that would look as fashionable as you, Jeremy, let's be honest.
Absolutely. I guess a lot of people can't relate. Not a lot of, you know, everybody can't relate to the technology side of things, but they can relate to family, the human element to it. So that's, I guess, what makes it as relatable as it is. So.
Yeah, and when I was developing it, this was before the pandemic, so I had just come up with this idea that, you know, over time the world becomes completely sterilized, and so I had to kind of start looking up just the reality of how many generations does it take for kids to start to age out of schools? When do elementary schools, middle schools close? And it's like, I think it's like a 30-year cycle. Which was interesting. So I had to kind of think about how far into the future I wanted to set it, but also George and I didn't want to do something that was just too futuristic, because to me, those aren't the interesting sci-fi stories. They take me right out of the moment and I have to suspend belief. And I think films like Her is a really good example of smart science fiction, where it's little things that make it feel like a place that you recognize, but it doesn't feel that familiar, it feels foreign.
Are you saying, Jeremy, that Back to the Future Part 2 was not that?
I mean, the fact that the Biff Tannen character kind of became Trump, I mean, that was pretty spot on.
Well, yeah, they had that spot.
But I mean, you know, hey, I love hoverboards, I love self-lacing Nikes, but I just think that for this, I don't know. There's a lot of things that I wanted to explore and tackle, and I really tried not to get put anything in the way of that. So.
I mean, we've got a question I'll get around to off my shelves now. This sounds great. I just read a bit digitally while you were speaking, and the artwork looks great. Love page 2 with the guy looking over the office panel. Great inventness out of the gate. So I think you are winning viewers. I mean, there's D. Pierce's comments from over the pond. There's a great first issue as well. I mean, as first issues go, I definitely think you've hit a winner. You've hit the ball out of the park, to be fair. It was great. Yeah, you have hooked us in.
Thank you. And I think for what George and I also wanted to do, because it was hard to try to explore this world where children are you know, artificial, synthetic, they're known as proxies. And, you know, I didn't have a whole lot of room to focus on what that world is like with other proxies. So, you know, I wanted to utilize 3 pages in the back of each issue with a backup story. I think Ron Chan just knocked it out of the park with the first story. I don't know if you all read the backup story.
Yeah.
But to me, just kind of expanding the world, exposing this different version of the world that we think we know.
But no, honestly, I think it was. I can't help but think that Jess isn't as innocent as we think. I think there's a few twists and turns that you guys have got up your sleeves. Well, you clearly know if you've got them up your sleeves or not. We're going to have to wait for another 5 issues to find out what happens. Though.
Yeah, there are things that I've been asked in interviews that I have to be really cagey about, that I'll feel more comfortable speaking on once issue 3 drops. But the consensus from friends who have provided pull quotes is that they didn't see what was coming, which makes me feel really good. So
that sounds great. And out of all the 6 issues that you've done, what would you say is your favorite?
I'd have to say, I'd say issue 3 is probably my favorite. I think the cover for issue 2 is probably my favorite. Image just retweeted the cover for the second issue, which I think George did these beautiful kind of vignettes or scenes for each cover to basically kind of give a sense or overview of what's inside the book. So yeah, I mean, issue 2 cover is my favorite. Issue 3 is the one that's just going to wreck people.
Oh, I can't wait.
You heard it here first, people.
You've got us hooked. And just before you go, Jeremy, is there anything that you're working on other than Made in Korea at the moment? Have you got any other projects you can talk about?
That you can tell us.
That you can tell us, yeah.
No, I have my first prose novel that'll be coming out sometime in early 2022, which actually is a novel adaptation of Skip to the End. So I'm pretty excited about that. And yeah, I've got a couple things in development that I can't really talk about, but yeah.
But honestly, it is top secret. But I mean, thank you so much for coming on. It was great just to have you on and just to talk about this great comic. For people in the chat, if you haven't checked it out already, that's Made in Korea. It's by Image Comics. It's by the fabulous Jeremy Holt. And
I'll put his link. I'll put your link, Jeremy, for your Instagram. And
the link is there.
In the chat there, so
and check it out. But thank you so much for coming on, and congratulations for finally getting to Image, and it just shows that persistence, and if you really want something hard enough, you will get it. So, and before you go, Jamie, I just want to introduce the fourth member of the Killer Comics.
What's up, everyone? Okay.
This is Tom from Not Quite Mint, Jeremy. He is the fireman. So I just wanted you two to say hello to each other before Jeremy makes makes an exit. But yeah, Jeremy. It's all right, but yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to come on. It's been great, and it'd be great to have you back on once all the 6 issues are finished, and we can kind of do like a recap and speak about everything and what you've got next planned and stuff. That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely love that, and thank you.
That'd be great.
And this is a great show, by the way. It's so interactive and fun to watch.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you very much. That's good to hear. Thank you very much.
Take care.
You too.
See you soon.
See you, dude.
Thomas.
Oi.
How you doing?
Can I just say, Charlie, even when we don't have an amazing guest lined up, we still get amazing guests on the show.
This is what we do, innit? Like this is it. Like
you know,
it makes my Thursday night when stuff like that happens. When we get Tom, you missed it, mate.
No, mate.
We had to give your intro. Hello, I've just been called out, so I played it at the beginning just to let the fans know in the chat.
Yeah, fair enough. Appreciate that, mate. I literally was shitting my pants.
It sounded like you were, to be fair.
Yeah, it's my first one, mate. It's my first proper call out.
Oh, bless you. Was it just a cat?
I'm just going to put that up. Say that again, Tom.
It was a house fire. It was a house fire.
Okay, well, now I feel bad.
We was having debates in the chat whether it was a cat up a pole or a cat up a tree.
Up a pole?
Why not?
Cat up a pole.
Why not? But I mean, how cool was that? I mean, look, we've got ABZ Comics. I've emailed to my LCS to add that to my subs.
Yes.
Lee Pierce's comics, awesome. I'd recommend Alex and Ada from 2015 for folks who want to read more about sentient and androids. Was that book mentioned at all? I don't think it was. And look, speaking of amazing guests, when's Sif coming on? I don't even know where Sif is. There's a new Star Wars comic that's come out today, so he's probably deep in the undergrowths, giving it a read.
Deep in the undergrowths.
Deep in the undergrowths. I don't know. Then they live in Florida somewhere.
Can I also just say as well that we completely got showed up there in terms of appearance? Like Jeremy is the best dressed individual that I think I've seen in any comic book YouTube video ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like us washed up, middle-aged, hoodie wearing. We should be ashamed of ourselves.
You speak for yourself anyway. But Tom, let's go back. Your comic was where is it? Your comic
Killing the Children, mate.
It's Killing the Children. We've already give our thoughts on this. We didn't think it was all that. We thought it was a bit of a filler issue. We're just interested to find out what you thought.
Well, I would agree. I think it was a little bit of a filler episode, to be honest.
We were joking. We actually loved it.
Did you? I actually did think it was a bit filler, though.
Really?
I did, yeah. I liked that it was. I liked that it was kind of touching on her backstory, and I like that you got to a little bit of an insight to the guy who I think is dead, isn't he? He died recently in a couple of issues beforehand. Her brother. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like that you got a bit of backstory on that, but I did think that it kind of ended like a bit of not really on a cliffhanger or anything. It kind of didn't make me want to read the next issue, if you get my drift. Mm-hmm. I thought the start was good, getting her kind of backstory of like how she's protected her. You know, she's lost her mom and dad, her friend, but yet she's managed to defeat the monster, and then they've captured it in a little octopus. And I like that. And then I like the kind of element between her and the lady that's teaching her stuff. But I just thought it ended a little bit meh.
Tom, I'm really worried that you've inhaled too much smoke from
probably, mate.
fires.
But no,
that was all I've got to say.
All right, sorry, mate.
And Ben, just to confirm, Jeremy said there was two kind. I was just wearing a Wolf Alice tee.
Oh, stop it! You are an icon.
A 2015 Primada hoodie.
It's all about first appearances, isn't it? And he's with his comic, he smashed that out of the park as well.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
upset Tom, Andy. He's gone.
Tom's been called out again.
Yeah, you upset me.
So yeah, that was something in the children. There was 45 covers out. There was probably a few or four more that came out.
That was my other bugbear with this book. Like, I love Something's Killing the Children, and I thought it was a good issue, but I did think it was a bit filler. But the fact that there's a million covers for this one is kind of unnecessary.
And some of them, as Andy said, are copy and paste jobbies with, you know, put that PNG in in front of a different background. Yeah, sell it separately for more money.
I do like that one on the end though, that third eye comic one.
The third eye one, I do like that.
The one at the end, yeah. There was so many nice covers as well, but at some point you've just got to go, no, I'm out. I can't do this. There's so many covers. Even though I got the 150.
I only ended up buying two of the Jenny Frisson covers, so I had a pretty cheap week. Not the 1 in 50. I just bought the cover B one. I bought the cover B one. I ordered one in February, and then I ordered one again in April.
Legend.
Speaking of doubles, this is a complete side story, but people might or might not know I'm a massive Colossus fan, and Andy very kindly sent me the full run of Bloodline, which was amazing, and I was really grateful. And then I get another full run of Colossus Bloodline through the post that Tom very kindly gave me. So I now have two whole runs of Colossus Bloodline, and I've got 3 copies of the first issue now as well.
That's crazy because I remember Andy saying he was going to send them to you, and as I was packing up your books that you'd bought, I thought, I'll send him one of these because I know that Andy. I think Andy mentioned there was one issue missing. I thought, but I can't remember which issue it is. So if I just send the full set, then at least you get the issue you might be missing.
I now own the only prints of those books.
Amazing.
Well, that's good though. That's what it's about. It's about sharing is caring, spreading the love.
Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely, mate. I cried from both eyes.
So that was it, Killer Comic. And then obviously we had Made in Korea. Tom, you'll have to watch the repeat of that to find out the thought process for this comic and stuff. But
I actually quite liked it.
It was great. I really loved it. Really loved it. And there was only one cover made, no variants. I'm not sure if that goes for the rest of the issues, but sometimes one issue is all you need. One cover is all you need.
Is that actually your wall, Charlie?
Yeah, that is actually my wall outside my house.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I've got these like the comic. I stuck the comic to it. I stuck the comic to it, and
just like you went outside, and you're like, "That's it." Comics on the wall, image across the top.
That's it. There's some chat going on here. I think we missed an opportunity here. Copy 801, you missed a opportunity. I think this is going back to Comic Burrito, talking about one of his shows. We once had burrito bow ties. You missed an opportunity there, Comic Burrito. They're called burritos. Look at that. If that isn't a joke that I would say and you wouldn't laugh at, but burritos, look at that, awesome.
That's a killer joke.
Anyhow, regarding your covers, Ben, auction them off. Sean's solution to everything, auction them off.
Yeah,
why not? And then we've got ABZ, one cover equals old school. That's it. Obviously, one cover is sometimes all you do. I will do a bit of a rewind later. So ABZ comic had to pop out and get his wife and daughter. I don't know why he decided to go and get them instead of spending the time with us, but I guess that's one question we will never know. But moving swiftly on.
That's where that thumbs down came from.
I think it is. What, from ABZ or his wife? But on to Ben's comic of the week. It was Ha Ha, issue number 4. There were quite a few covers out for this. Obviously, we've got the Gabrielle Walter main cover. We've got the Wolf Connolly cover B. We've got a friend of the Killer Comic Show. We've got John Jiang, absolutely doing some freaky ass shit as usual. It's incredible, isn't I know. Imagine waking up to that. We had the David Sanchez variant.
That guy needs help.
Oh, David Sanchez, he does because he's headless now.
John Jack.
Bob is basically going, I don't want to see this. This is
every single one of these covers that they are. We've got the John Desjardins variant. We've got the Sheldon Bouquet variant cover. Very Joker-esque, this one, I think. And then we had the Tiffany Groves variant, the Ivan Tao variant A, and the multicolour variant B. And then we had, I haven't updated them, but yep, there we go. That was this is the John Gallagher trade variant, John Gallagher Virgin, and then we have the Scott McFarlane variant as well. They're freaky ass. They are really freaky ass.
Crazy.
But yeah, so Ben, thoughts?
Yes, so again, W. Maxwell Prince with Gabriel Hernandez Volta on art. So this tells the tale of Pound Foolish, who's kind of an aging circus performer. I won't say more than that. I think that pretty much sums it up, to be honest. I thought it was a really kind of sweet, tender snippet and kind of exploration of like the lonely life that a lot of elderly people live. I feel like the message of it was kind of to give some elderly people the time to kind of learn about them rather than kind of judging on the surface. So obviously that's put across in a very kind of like surreal kind of in your face way by Pound Foolish kind of always wearing her makeup. But I think ultimately that was kind of the point, was to not take people at clown face value. I guess it was sweet, it was simple. At one point I was kind of like, oh, is something darker going to happen? But then I think what we should know by now is I don't think these ha-ha books are actually about that. I think if you want that, read Ice Cream Man. These are more kind of social commentaries, I think. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't write home about it, I don't think. But I did enjoy it.
I think I'm going to do the same as D. Pierce here. To make a cauliflower casserole recipe from the book.
Yes. She looks like my nan as well, by the way, which freaked me out a bit.
This, for me, am I the only one that kind of felt a bit sad at the end?
No, mate.
No, I think that was the point.
And I think, do you know what? Like, it is, Maxwell Prince does a great, his writing style is amazing. The way that it kind of grips you and you think you're going one way, and then before you know it, you've taken 3 or 4 left turns and you end up where you are at the end of the book. This for me was, again, it was a thought-provoking comic because I was like, oh my God, like, I feel so sad now. Like, having read it, and it was just, without giving too much away, it is kind of a slight roller coaster of emotions, because it's everything that Pound Foolish, what a name, by the way, Pound Foolish, what a great name. It's a wicked name. But I think this, for me, having read, was it number 2 or was it number 3 that was the number 3 was a mine. Having read that again, I can understand the thought process of that issue a lot more. This one, I really, really enjoyed it. I probably have to say it was my favourite ha-ha issue so far.
Oh, wow.
Honest, I really, really, really enjoyed this issue. I really enjoyed it. From the artwork was so intricate when you're in our house and everything that she's got going on, to the memories and everything that was shared. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It's one of very few comics that makes you actually think after you've read it. You don't just finish it and that's it, it's done. And I think the fact that we all felt kind of in the same way after reading it is testament to Maxwell Prince's writing. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was a bit of a throwback to one of the other issues. So that's the mum and the little boy who lost the red balloon.
Oh my God. How did I not clock that? That's amazing.
So it's slowly but surely, and I'm just wondering if any of the other issues have little elements that all tie this world together.
Because that was the last issue, wasn't it? Issue number 4 was the red balloon. Did they not drive past the shops, and do we not see that? do we not see him looking out in issue number 4 as he's going to his nan's house, as he's going to his granddad's house?
Yes, we do, and that's the thing. So I think the next issue is potentially going to bring this world together. And what we will do as soon as we finish this next issue is we will run back to issue 1 and read it all again in a totally different context. This is just absolute top stuff for me.
Because W. Maxwell Print has come out. He has come out and said that issue number 6 is going to tie in the Ha universe, as it were, to Ice Cream Man.
Yes, because one of the covers is like the homage to Ice Cream Man. But yeah, this is close to, dare I say it, perfection that you'll get in a comic book series for me.
I mean, I loved it. I thought it was great. Like I said,
you can't be throwing around the P word like that.
Perfection. I know it's either filler or perfection. We should have, like, do you know how we have like the spoiler button? We should have like a perfection.
Would you ever get a perfection filler though?
A perfection filler?
Yeah. So it was a perfection comic, but it was a filler. It was a perfection filler. No?
Yeah,
maybe I should be
a perfect
less perpetual comics and perfection comics.
There we go.
No.
Yeah. But I thought it was great. I'm really looking forward to maybe issue number 6. They all come together. All the clowns come together in some way, shape, or form, and buy an ice cream.
Yeah.
They'll sit around
and buy an ice cream
and sit around a park bench.
Yeah, and that's why you don't write comics, Charlie.
That's exactly why you don't write comics, Charlie.
Do you know what? I read that comic, Charlie.
See, me and Tom like everything, apart from when we don't like things, which is very rare.
For simple minds.
Which is very rare. But I mean, it is only a 6th issue. Maybe there might be a second arc, considering that the majority, I think, the first 2 issues went to second print, which is always a testament of how great the artwork and the storytelling is.
I say it every time that we review a Ha book, and I think we've literally reviewed every single issue, or at least one of us has picked it as our pick of the week. Maxwell Prince, if you are available to come on the Killer Comic Show, we would absolutely love to discuss Ha issues 1 to 6.
That'd be great.
Get on over in as well.
Yeah,
massive shout out to Azores Tiger. Thanks for joining, dude. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I mean, are we talking about John Jiang's cover? Because that looks like a killer clown from outer space.
Yeah,
what a film! What a film!
I think that is. I think that's what Tom's nightmares are made of.
Yeah, just clowns in general.
Yeah.
Did you read it, Tom?
I did, mate. And do you know what? Like, I don't necessarily. I'm not frightened of clowns. I just don't like clowns. But I read this, and I lost my grandmother a few years back. And this woman just reminded me of my cantankerous old grandmother, and I absolutely loved it. And it just resonated with me. I just thought, this is exactly what my grandma, my dad's mum, was like. And I was like, I totally get this. And I did get a bit teary at the end. I thought it was great. I thought it was really well written. The artwork really lends itself to it. I just thought it was really good. But I did think, like you said earlier, I did think there was going to be a dark twist. I'm glad there wasn't. And it was just a really good, feel-good comic. And I think you're right, Andy. I think this, as a series, has been really good, the Ha series. For someone who doesn't like clowns, I think they're pretty good.
I thought it was going to be something like, in the new It film where the kids go into that freaky house.
No, not seen it.
Of course you haven't. Why would you have?
But please explain it to me.
So they go into a house, and obviously Pennywise is there in some shape-shifting form that he is, and he comes out and he drags him down into the basement. I kind of thought this was kind of leading up to that. First of all, he grabs one of the main characters from his man cave.
Nice. So that's excellent.
Whilst he's on a YouTube stream.
Whilst he's on a YouTube stream as well. But yeah, Azores Tiger. Well, it's an old movie, but the cover does look like it. That John Jane's freaky. It is as freaky as... I think if I was to buy that cover and put it up on my wall behind me...
I see what Azores mean. That's a great film. Can I just say, like, any film that you kill people by wrapping them in candy floss is
what a way to go.
And Sean has also touched on it as well. The house, the kids' cartoon house, Monster House. Right? There is a kids' cartoon.
Oh,
film.
Yeah.
That's like that. That is like that. And but I think very similar. I think with the way that Tom was just saying that, like, it resonates with his gran and stuff, and Ben, you said the same thing. I think Maxwell's been very smart in the way that he's done this, because there's essences and there's emotions from every single comment that he's put out that people can relate to. I mean, we've probably walked down the streets and seen an old lady getting her shopping and on her own, and no one knows what she does. No one knows what she did. Do you know what I mean? And the fact that she's walking. Now, what I didn't understand, and maybe it was just another thought process, but is she actually wearing that mask as a clown, or is that what she sees herself, that she will always be a clown from the circus? She will always see herself like that, whether she's got the mask on or not.
I think she does have the mask on. It's hard to say. I would say that they do have the mask on, but I think the 5 issues that we've read so far, it's basically that their feelings are that they're invisible now, and that nobody can see them. That's kind of the feeling that I got. So I don't know if issue 6 is going to just twist and just completely go off the tracks and off the rails, and it'll be like, are these all a figment of someone's imagination?
Yeah, like I don't even see it as reality. I see it as a kind of heightened, dreamlike world. But it's to make a point that, don't judge people by, the outside sort of thing. Because I guess the whole thing with a clown is, the epitome of a clown is to kind of exuberate, fun and comedy and silliness and playfulness, and I think there's a lot of people that kind of wear that mask day to day, don't they? But really, so it's that's kind of how I read into it. God, this is therapy, isn't it?
Yeah,
on a Thursday night.
It's definitely.
How much are you charging?
It's definitely. We've said it before. It's like it's an insight into mental health, and it's like, a lot of people who have mental health challenges have that mask on, and each one of these characters have that mask on, and I think it takes a little deep dive into each of those clowns' mental health positions.
And mental health such a and obviously I spoke about it on the show before, but I think mental health is such a kind of broad spectrum, and I guess what's so great about W. Maxwell Prince's writing is he's not exploring that one kind of stereotype of said bad mental health. It's lots of different types going on, and
that's why I think some of these variant covers actually do the story a disservice, because it's almost like each of the cover artists haven't read any of the issues.
Yeah, it's just gone draw a scary clown.
Draw a scary clown.
Yeah, which is why I've kind of only picked up the first issues, and I think I got the second print of issue 1 and issue 2 because they were relevant. But I mean, no bad feelings toward any of the artists that have done anything, but Tiffany Groves has done a great cover. You've got Scott McFarlane, he's done a great cover, and then you've got Wolf Connolly cover B, and then Gabrielle Walter cover A. For me, they're significant to the story. Like, John Jiang's has nothing to do with the story. Well, obviously, it's got something to do with the story, but I think, Ben, you've said the premise is just draw a scary clown. Whereas
it might be until we get to issue 6 that we realise that all the clowns that have been in each of the issues actually are in real life like John Jiang's representation. Yeah. So it literally goes to a horror book. I don't know.
And it is interesting because obviously Sean has said, Ha for me is a take on human nature in comic form, and I think we've said that before. We have said that before, and the Poptimist just said, "Don't judge a book by its horrific looking John Jiang cover."
We love John Jiang. We
do love John Jiang. Silly and playfulness, sheer terror, and massive shout out to John Jiang. He's absolutely killing it at the moment. Like, he's got covers coming out of his frilly French knickers that that we know he wears from time to time, doesn't he, Ben?
You're asking me like
you had the conversation with him, didn't you? You had the conversation with him. But I think I think everyone likes a bit of in the laughs, and I'm really looking forward to issue 6 for finding out how this comes together, because
3 solid books, guys. 3 solid books so far.
It's a good week.
And they've all come from indie publishers so far.
It's classic every week. It's the same thing.
Every single week.
Marvel just don't touch the radar.
No. They do not be.
Oh
yeah, there we go.
Actually, to be fair, mate, I caught up with Beta Ray Bill, and it isn't that bad. It's quite fun.
Barry Bill played ping pong with his own shit this week. Yeah. That's all I've got to say.
It was
That's what dreams are made of.
Massive shout out to Comment Burrito. All right, guys, this was fun. I have to get a few things myself, so heading out. Make sure if you are heading out, get Made in Korea issue #1 if you haven't done so already.
100%.
100%. And we've got the John Jan cover could represent the horror of growing old.
Oh, Sean.
Oh, Sean's a lot deeper than you think when you meet him.
Is the new all right?
Sean, have you had a whiskey?
I think he's all right, mate.
Strange Adventures was amazing issue this week, by the way. Yes, it was. Strange Adventures, I've followed all through that. Issues 1 to 11, I think we're on now. Finishes at 12. Just got the notification, folks. Funko Pop masks are available for pre-order. There we go.
Yes.
There we go. Let's all get one of them. Why not? Is that I'm not sure if that's Darren telling us that he's going to pre-order us for them, or I'm not sure. I don't know. I've had 2 whiskies. He's had 2 whiskies, so he's well on his way. That small little hand's going to come out. The small little hand's going to come out at any point. But moving swiftly on, we are now on to Shadecraft issue #3. There's no words for this comic. I seriously enjoyed it.
This got to be one of the top comics this week.
It is.
Hey guys, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it, Andy. I'm going to say the P word. Perfection.
Oh,
wow.
Perfection.
Honestly, this for me is, this comic has come from the shadows and is now at the forefront. We've got the main cover by Lee Garbett. We've got cover B by Jim. It should be Jim Chuang, and we have the Oasis exclusive J. Lee variant. I don't think I could actually ask for more in this comic. It was full of twists, it was full of turns, it was full of emotion, and the ending was just like, what the fuck? It was awesome.
It was really good.
Loved it. It was just, honestly, it's something totally that you wouldn't think of. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's a comic about shadows. And
that's what's really charming about this book. It
is. And do you know what I liked about this issue? Without giving too much away, I like it when you watch films and they drop the name of the film in the film.
Yeah.
In this issue, they drop the name of the comic.
It's like that Family Guy, what is it? Is it a giraffe or a llama that goes, ha, you said it, or whatever.
Well, I loved it when she just dropped it at Shadecraft. I was like, it was wicked. And the main character, like, she's cool. She's a badass. She's kind of, it's wicked. Andy, you seem in a bit of, I mean, did you love it? You loved it.
He loved it.
He didn't love it.
He didn't
like it. He loved it.
He didn't like it. He loved it.
He didn't.
I didn't.
I liked it.
Did you?
Oh.
I liked it. However, the thing that I liked most about it was this little guy.
Yes, the shadow bunny.
Look at all our reactions. We're like, oh. No, it's one of those stories, because I think I know that it's been optioned, that when I'm reading it, it feels like I'm reading a TV show or a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I'm disconnecting from reading the story and enjoying it, because I'm picturing it on a big screen and how it would look. And I'm finding that a bit of a challenge at the minute. And I must admit, I'm getting into the book having read all the books this week. So it had to do a lot to sort of keep the bar raised. And I think that it done that. And the fact that it was a 3rd issue and it wasn't a filler issue, there's that word again. Hats off to them. It's consistently good. It wasn't my top. It was my top comic. Made in Korea was my top comic this week, but this was really good. Are you guys making shadow puppets? Well,
we were trying. It's just so superbly wrote. Like the interaction with her brother is just so kind of perfect and kind of, it's so lovely just to kind of witness. Oh god, it is distracting. I'm sorry. And the artwork is just unbelievable. Like, it's just unbelievable. And I see what you mean, Andy, when you say, I would say try and stop picturing it for the screen, because in a way it kind of takes away from enjoying the kind of abstractness of the way that they're kind of doing the shadows. And yeah, I think the more you kind of think, oh, that could look pretty pants, on screen. But in the book, it's amazing. And in the book, you know, you kind of see symbiotes, you know, the symbiotes do similar stuff, but I don't think I've ever kind of seen the use of like shadow and clouds and stuff in this way. And yeah, it's third issue, as you say, it should be filler, but it progressed the story, and it still gave us that kind of moment at the end. Yeah, like every issue has had that moment at the end. So this is one of my favorite books at the moment. I think it really is, and again, would have ignored it if it wasn't for this show.
That's what we do on the show. I think the twist in it. But Andy, it's interesting you say that you're reading it, and obviously it's been auctioned, and we find it's going to TV and stuff. Do you still do that with Something Is Killing the Children?
Good question. Charlie asking the hard questions.
No, I honestly don't. I don't think it was optioned from the very beginning. Something Is Killing the Children. I think that's the thing. So I was already 5 or 6 issues in and enjoying the story for what it was before it got optioned. I think the fact that this was optioned pre to it been releasing, there was just a certain expectation, and it knocked it out of the park for issue 1 and 2 and for issue 3. It's just that I'm finding I'm probably not enjoying it as much as you guys clearly are, because I've got that thought in my head. So
yeah,
get it.
Yeah.
Shadow.
Do you think you'd have that same problem with Scout's Honor if they did that as a film?
He's gone. For those of you in the chat,
we promised to never talk about Scout's Honor on this show ever again.
Just for the people in the chat, one of the comics Andy picked once. I think one of the comics Andy picked once. It was Scout's Honor issue number 2, and I think it was one of them things that Andy does now and again. He picks a comic and he regrets reading it because he didn't
get it right all the time. He's got a pretty good track record, but
you know what? 95% of the time, the Oracle is right.
98.
98. I'll give you that one. 98 of the time.
98.2.
60% of the time, he's right every time.
Can I just say that particular issue wasn't the best issue. However, if you've had the opportunity to read issue 1 to 5, it is a fantastic read. You don't believe me? No? Okay.
I'll give it a go, mate.
Do you know what? I've got to take Andy's word for it, because I read 2 Moons and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do it. Like when you open up a comic and it just gives you an essay of what it's about. And Andy messaged me and said, just read it again. And I was like, I'll read it again if you read Stray Dogs. And I've got to say, I'm loving 2 Moons. I'm loving 2 Moons.
None of you picked that this week.
I've read it. It's a top honourable mention. This week for comics was absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
Another one that we've never picked and discussed is Shadow Doctor. So Shadow Doctor issue 4 just came out, and it is absolutely superb. So again, there's probably people in the chat that's read it, but that's another killer indie book.
But I mean, while the Oracle is talking, I think it's only fair that we kind of go into the new segment of the show, and it's where Andy takes over, and it is Andy
Killer Indie Picks.
The Killer Indie Picks for New Comic Book Day, June 2nd.
Killer Indie Picks, Killer Indie Picks, Killer Indie Picks.
So Andy,
we'll all workshop that.
I think we should really work on that, shouldn't we?
Andy, all yours, mate.
Yep, so this is my Killer Indie Books for the 2nd of June. Killer Indie Books, what a week the 2nd of June is going to be. First up is Basilisk issue. What have you got there? Basilica?
Do you know what? It's autocorrect, so yeah, it is Basilic.
Tom, did you do these titles? Frank?
Oh, no. I knew that was coming. I just knew that was coming. Right, I'm off.
But it's called Basilica. Why not?
That's a what?
How much that hurts my fingers, Ben?
So, guys, if you're Googling, make sure it's Basilisk and not Basilica. That's probably not a good idea. That's our top tip.
Just before we go any further, Darren, good things come to those who wait. And I understand better things. No, I said wait.
Your horses, Darren.
I said good things come to those who wait. Whoa. Good things are coming. Good things are coming.
It's like It's like, wait a minute, Dan. No, hold on. I've got to pick up on here. So would you rather see the peach? Would you rather have your competition that's coming up, or would you rather see my indie picks? Be careful how you answer that, Dan.
Hey, and the debut of Cranston Covers, can I just say as well? We've got
chat.
I was keeping that as a secret, Ben. Come on.
Answers in the chat. But yeah, Basilica, number 1.
Basilisk, I'm doing it now. Basilisk by Boom Studios, issue number 1 is written by Cullen Ben, who seems to be having lots and lots of work at the minute. The art and cover art is by Jonas Scharf. Go with it. Big Jonas is doing the art for this. I'm not. Should I give a little bit of a synopsis? I'm basically just going to read it from previous. So 5 individuals bound by a cult-like hive mind. They terrorize small towns with their horrifying supernatural sense-based powers, leaving death and destruction in their wake. Oh, does that not just fill you with pure optimism? So Regan, one of the Chimera, escaped and has been hiding with her murderous eyes bound, overcome with guilt until now, when a victim from her past forces her to hunt down the other 4 of her kind.
Wow.
Bam, bam,
ABZ Comics has just said Basilisk is a mythical creature like a Minotaur.
Isn't the Basilisk in Harry Potter?
I've never seen Harry Potter.
Have you not seen?
I don't know, weird, but
I was a Lord of the Rings guy.
I bet
you
were.
Not seen Harry Potter? You've not read Harry Potter?
Pause.
Oh, this is escalated really quickly. This went from Basilisk to Basilica.
Come on, guys, let's keep the bar. We were doing so well. We had a writer on the show. You know, the bar was high. Come on.
Right, let's So moving on. Yeah, but no, the Basilisk is it in Harry Potter?
In the second one, yeah.
Okay. Right, yes, it is. It is the giant snake. It is the giant snake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, cool.
Giant snake.
Well, I'm glad I said anything.
That's great.
Right, guys, are we ready? Like,
yes, let's go.
We're good to go.
Cherry
Let's
Blackbird.
move on, guys.
Let's go. Cherry Blackbird.
We're never doing this segment again. So yeah, where was I, Chris? There's issue 1 has cover A and B, and it has a 1 in 25. And you should definitely check out the 1 in 25. It looks a fantastic cover, and I think it will be one that will be going on eBay for a lot of people and making a lot of money. It's a cracking cover. Next up, I have Cherry Blackbird issue number 1, and this is by Scout Comics. Now, this is the sort of Black Caravan imprint, and this is by Joseph Schmalk. The surnames on these artists and writers are really difficult for me. I've not picked well. So this is Rockstar Cherry Blackbird sold her soul for fame. Now at the age of 26, time is running short. The day she turns 27, she'll be dragged to hell. But Cherry is not one to go quietly. The devil tasks her with collecting 7 demonic souls that have escaped the abyss. If she can do this before her next birthday, she'll be released from her infernal pact and spared eternal damnation. Heaven help anyone who gets in her way.
Well, it's like Ghost Rider. Yeah. I'm on board.
Sounds very interesting.
And it's a really nice cover as well. There's something about that cover that I really like. So
that was delayed from this week as well, wasn't it?
It was. I think a few of these have been delayed, actually.
Yeah.
Next up is Freak Snow. Jesus, by Behemoth Comics. So Behemoth Comics are quite hard to pick up. A lot of the time, my LCS don't actually order them unless you pick them up on final order cutoff. So this is by Kevin Roditelli, and the art is by Rob Cannon. And a frozen apocalyptic story in the spirit of Mad Max, Fallout, and Borderlands meets Tarantino. It begins with Bernie, a psychedelic addict surviving in a glacial wasteland. I hope I've got the right one here. A fight with brutal gunslingers ensues, and crazy hallucinations lead our weird hero on a quest to find the whole of truth. The whole of truth? A mystic whole that tells the truth. The only thing we can promise is a lot of death. So I think it's fair to say that we all are in search of that mystic hole. So moving on, guys. The next slide, please, Charlie.
Yes.
The next one is Everfrost, issue number 1. This is by Black Mask Studios. And yeah, this is Ryan Lindsay, who is the award-winning writer of Eternal. And this one is Van Louise retired to the Ice Coast so she could quietly find a way off planet from a world on the wrong side of social collapse. She biohacks a dead Leviathan to orchestrate passage away into the universe. But her plans are about to get chewed up by a mounting war between the warlords. That's all it says for this one. But the cover's nice.
It does look interesting, yeah. I do like that.
Have any of you guys seen any of these covers coming up? Would these interest you if you've seen them in the shops or online? Would you pick them up?
Basilisk and
unless you pick them for this show, I don't read them.
And Out of Body are two of not quite Mint's big picks for this because we've got them on the shop.
Yeah,
I say I've got them on the shop, but I think they're going to be big books, especially
100%. Yeah, I know. Whenever you were asking, for suggestions for big books, Basilisk or Basilica, depending how you pronounce it, was one of my topics. Oh, Ben, never do that again. Next up is Moths, issue number 1. So, Charlie, we were saying that this is another book that's been delayed as well.
Yeah. So this has been delayed from this week.
And I'm not even going to try to pronounce the writer's surname. J. Michael Straczynski.
Yeah.
That's actually bang on, mate, isn't it?
Straczynski. And it's art and cover art by Mike Choi. So Emily Kai has immense power inside her. However, the moment she taps into it, a clock starts. She will only have 6 months to live. As Emily enters into this journey, she contemplates how to use her gifts to bring beauty into the world in the limited time she has to use them. Which sounds a really nice premise.
What's wrong with that? I was going to say, why would you only got 6 months?
You're so harsh. So I think when this particular week comes up, what 2nd of June was said, it's going to be really tough for me to pick a pick of the week, to be honest.
I do like
Any
it.
thoughts, guys?
The AWA upshot stuff, they're all a bit like not the same sort of premise. Like, wasn't Erratic the same thing? Didn't he only get his powers for a certain amount of time?
Yeah,
it's like 10 minutes. I think he got it, wasn't it? Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of a theme with AWA. Again, another
different.
Yeah, no, it's different. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of those other, like Behemoth. It's hard to pick up unless you see them on Final Order Cutoff and actually ask your LCS. So, yeah, definitely make sure that you contact him if you want to get any of these books. Last but certainly not least is Out of Body issue number 1 by Aftershock. So
I'm interested
Aftershock,
in this. This looks great.
Yeah, Aftershock is killing it at the minute. Some of the stuff that they're bringing out is absolutely fantastic. And this cover by Miranda, Inaki Miranda, all the covers for this, I think it's only 5 issues if I remember rightly, and it's Peter Milligan that's doing the writing on it. I don't know if you've seen the Johnny Desjardins. Is it Desjardins variant cover?
Yeah,
Desjardins. Oh my
God! It looks like a watercolor painting.
Yeah.
That's sweet, that one.
Absolutely brilliant. I think Comic Tom had posted up, and basically Johnny actually makes a full art print of it. So he actually physically paints it, and that's how he gets the covers. So yeah, this one is definitely one that I think everybody should go and check out. I think my top 2 picks from those 6 would be Basilisk and Out of Body 1. So June the 2nd, one of those will be my top pick and will be reviewed.
I'll tell you what, we've got some good comics coming out. We've got some good comics. It's just a shame because obviously I do the video on a Monday, and I mentioned to you the other day, Andy, that obviously we don't know what's coming up. We don't know what comics are going to be dropped and stuff like that. But it's good doing this because then if you did miss the show on the Monday, you can kind of pick it up on this and you know what's coming out for the indie picks coming up on the following week, which is 100%. Which is great. And I think we've got the Moss cover looks gorgeous. Azores Tyra's looking forward to Basilic. J. Michael Basilica. Is that your alter ego, Darren? We've got an American contingency tonight. We've got Sparks Comics has just joined us. Welcome, sir. Thank you very much. What do we have now? I think it's time for Ben's. Is it Ben's covers?
Brampton's covers.
Okay, Crampton's covers of the week. Let's do it.
Killer covers.
Killer
Can you do your
covers.
theme tune? Ben, can you do your theme tune?
No.
Okay. I think we're going for. We'll put the theme tunes for all of these. But this is Ben. You used to do the video on a Sunday of your killer covers.
Yes, and I decided to move the content over here because more people will probably bloody see it. No, go on, get them up. Could you get them up? I thought you were going to get them up individually.
Oh,
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
That ruins everything. No, it's fine. So as you can see here, going left to right.
There we go. Look.
Oh, all right. Oh,
Zoom
yeah.
it.
So X-Men 20 to start off with. This is the Del Mondo. It's a cheeky variant. It's fantastic. The longer you look at it as well, the better it gets, because there's various characters there. So you can
I just noticed that.
Magneto and Goop is there, and then it gets weird. Like there's a sloth.
Yeah.
And I swear, I don't know if it's me, but right at the bottom next to the barcode, does that look like Rowan Atkinson's Mr. Bean?
It really
to
does.
anyone else, or is it just me?
No, it's got a mole as well.
It's got the mole. It's Mr. Bean. I'm telling you.
Just there's the mole.
Yeah.
Anyway, HR called and they want to speak to Mystique immediately for inappropriate use of the photo. I just like that cover. It's great fun. It's good fun. Next up, the Department of Truth, issue 9. This is the Ben Oliver variant. The mysterious and probably symbol, the mascot of the series now, Woman in Red. Has she got a name? Anyone know her name? Woman in Red.
Great tune.
Great tune, sung very poorly. Now, usually we'd discourage looking at someone's cleavage without permission, but we're going to give you permission today because, as you can see, she's unzipping there to unveil what looks like reptile skin, which is horrifying and yet still not a deterrent for me.
Still slightly arousing.
And lastly, we have this Harley Quinn issue 3 variant from Greg Horn, which is giving me the horn because I'm a big fan of Margot Robbie and her incarnation of Harleen Quinzel. One criticism, though, is the size of that mallet.
Yeah.
Now, I know it shouldn't matter the size of a mallet, but let's be honest, it does.
The power of the swing.
So that's my covers of the week. Crampton's covers.
I love this. And Ben, going forward, I will do the individual covers for you as well. So I do apologise for that, but it was the first time.
Oh, you know what? No one cares, Charlie.
But I love these covers. I think they're great.
That X-Men one is quality.
Some, interesting choices. Bit of variation.
I mean, there's quite a few like people are saying, where is it? X-Men got stupid. I mean, you and Tom, you're massive X-Men fans. Are you kind of reading this? Is this? I mean, we mentioned a few weeks ago, like reading X-Men. I kind of got lost when it became an encyclopedia of what you had to read before you actually started reading a comic. Is this?
It's a bit of a chore. It's been a bit of a chore since X of Swords. I'll be honest. The best one is Marauders, but 100%. The rest of it's a bit of a chore. X-Force is okay.
But I mean, we've got I mean, quite a few people really like the cover for X-Men 2. Not seen that one before. And then we have. Oh, did you know this, guys?
To educate.
Did you know that the Greg Horn Harley cover has been approved by Margot Robbie? I did hear that. I did. Hear that.
Yeah, you'd kind of hope so, considering it's a base.
Yeah. But that is Ben's Crampton's covers of the week.
Crampton's covers of the week.
I've got to get these. I've got to get the theme tunes going in the background, and then to finish off this new section before we get on to the highly anticipated, it's the return of the Peach of the Week. We have the Not Quite Mint keys. Killer Keys. Now, what have we got?
All having time to shine.
Now, there are going to be quite a few covers that cross over here because Tom and Andy both have impeccable taste. So obviously, Take it away, Thomas.
Well, the reason that these two first ones that Andy mentioned, so Out of Body and Basilisk, are keys, is because they're written by, you know, star artists for a start, star writers for a start, but they're both first issues. That's why they've both been picked as keys. But the Star Wars Bounty Hunter one is by Marvel, and it's written by Charlie Soule. I think that's how you spell it, how you say it. But it's a start of a massive story arc that's going over Marvel and Star Wars. It's going to be happening through June all the way to October, and it's crossing all the titles. But it's basically the reason it's a key is because it's going to end up with only one bounty hunter left standing. So it's about the fact that there's going to be this huge bounty hunter war. They're just warring over the fact that Han Solo is essentially this huge prize. So they're trying to rip it away from Boba Fett, and only one man can stand. So it's basically Star Wars is Highlander, if you like.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. So this one is this particular part of it. This War of the Bounty Hunters is a 5-part series, but it is crossing over all the other Star Wars issues. So well worth picking up.
Read the preludes yet, Tom?
I haven't, mate. I've got to read it. It's on my list of ones to read.
Very good.
Should be arriving tomorrow.
Okay, very good.
There we go. Andy's just put in the chat. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. 20 thumbs up, and Ben gives us a dance. Has this been pre-approved, Ben? We've got the 20 thumbs up. So we've got the 20 thumbs up. So whenever you are ready, you can do it now, or you can. I'll make you big, and you can
drop it like it's hot, Benjamin. Drop it like it's hot.
You can drop it.
Yeah, I need do you want salsa or like what type of? I'm trained in various.
Can we have some body popping, mate? Like,
yeah.
Okay, so this is an apple.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
Easy.
Look at this. And look, we've got. Look at this. Look, that was great. Like, I think we deserve a few more thumbs up for that.
Yeah,
guys, that's our clip of the show.
Yeah,
this is an apple.
Ballet Ben. Show us your
worm. Comic room next week.
Show us your worm. I think that is for Killer Comic. Killer Comic Goes Dark. But I mean, Darren said he's got a few of those covers on the way. What of Ben dancing? Are they the lenticular covers?
The lenticular covers.
Store exclusive.
It does this.
Yeah. Crampton, that was worth it. See, there we go. And all you had to do was give the thumbs up. Now, so that's 3 of them, Tom.
Somebody just gave a thumbs down.
Do we actually just get thumbs up? Oh
well.
That's horrible.
But that's great. But yes.
Yeah, that was.
Okay, so yeah, next up is The Nice House on the Lake, which is a horror story being written by James Tynion IV. And it's him doing Black Label. I was trying to make sure because someone said 5th, and I think it might have been me and Rich on my show, and he said 5th, and I was like, no, it's 4th, and we had a little bit of an argument over it, but it's definitely.
Did you go back and forth?
We did go back and forth, mate. It was a bit.
No, you went back and 5th.
Back and 5th, yeah, 4th and 5th. But yeah, it's basically a brand spanking new horror comic written by James Tynion for the DC Black Label franchise, and it's essentially these people all know this one guy, and they've all had bad years because of COVID, and they all get invited to go to this house on the lake, which oversees a lake, and it's like the dream holiday, and they all go, but they all know the guy that they're going to see is not exactly quite right, but they can still go anyway, and it all tends to go to shit. So I'm looking forward to reading this one, to be perfectly honest. I'm not massively into horror comics, but this is one I'm looking forward to reading. And there's a Jong Jang cover for this, which is absolutely insane, and you can get it on notquiterent.com. Cheeky plug.
It is interesting what Apex Comics. What happened to James Tynion 1, 2, and 3?
Well, they all went to the house on the lake, and we're about to find out what happened to them.
There we go. That is a great. I love that. I love that. ER 25 and Tom dances, and we're 4 away from that. So
awesome. Is it topless or?
It's a unbelievable show so far.
That's the
with
question.
or without.
Talking about Wibbles without helmets, Tom, what's the 5th comic you've got?
What, the Crush and Lobo one?
Yes. No, the one in the middle.
Oh, so this is Savage Dragon issue 259. However, they have recently changed the numbering and they've changed it to North Forces issue 0 because it's the first time they're doing a kind of a team up with Savage Dragon where he leads the North Forces. So that's the reason it's a key, is because it's about to become a first issue and a first kind of collaboration of the North Forces, which are like a Canadian Avengers, if you like, from Image. So that's the reason this one's going. It's written by Eric Larson.
So like Alpha Flight then, yeah? Alpha
Basically,
Flight.
yeah. But it's Image's version of Alpha Flight, and I think it's a huge piss take out of Alpha Flight.
How dare they?
And it's only taken them 259 issues to do it, which is
Pretty much, yeah. I think they probably have it in probably Invincible, and then they're just redoing it into the Gal.
Yeah.
They love a crossover, old Image.
And I'm really looking forward to this one. I've seen quite a few things
Crush
about
and Lobo, or
the
Crush and Lobo is Crush is essentially Crush's first ever solo series. And this particular issue has got the first appearance of her girlfriend Katie. So we should get to actually meet her girlfriend Katie. There is an amazing foil cover to this, which I didn't manage to find the artwork for, which I should have done. But he's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, and I think Crush has been a great standout character from Teen Titans. So I'm glad he's got her own title, and it's cool that you actually get to see the bit of the to and from with her and her dad, because she doesn't actually abide by his rules, but he wants her to do whatever he wants her to do, and she's like, no, I'm going to do my own thing. And I quite like that. I like that dynamic. I think it's going to be a very Guardians of the Galaxy style comic, like that kind of comedy feel, but we'll soon find out.
That's my worry with this book, because Lobo is my favorite DC character.
Is he?
Yeah, and I've got a real fear that this will completely ruin Lobo for me. So I'm really interested to pick up this book and see what it has to offer.
Yeah, well, I might use it as my pick of the week next week, mate, and then we can actually read it and review it.
Let's go for that. I like that idea.
Yeah, let's do it.
But I think we've still got a few people left in the chat, and I think it's only fair that we kind of
Still standing.
I think we kind of bring it back. Should we just bring it back? Let's bring it back. Peach of the week. Oh God, there we are. Yeah. I don't know, just kind of blacked out. I got peach in the eye. I got peach in my eye. Now, Ben,
my eye.
This was your peach of the week.
Yeah, it is. This is my entry. This is fresh T'Challa buns.
T'Challa buns.
This is your entry
for you.
Wakanda forever.
This is on the variant, I think it is, for the latest Black Panther. Yeah, I mean, it's who doesn't love tight vibranium material stretched over a rump like that? So that is my entry.
Serious peaches, right?
That is rivaling Nightwing's. To be fair,
that is a serious peach,
and it is. I mean, we've got Peach, we've got Optimus Peach, Peachy. Have I missed a Peach? Peachy. Look at those peaches.
And I don't know about anyone else, but it gets my imagination going for what's going on at the front.
Anna, that Star Wars girl, would love that man, but I bet she would, and can't be a nice fuzzy peachage.
Can we just have a moment to appreciate the colour work on that sun as well?
It is incredible.
Pretty good, actually, to be fair.
Isn't it? That is great. Would we like to look at that, or would we like to see some more? That is quite of a
more. Give us more, Charlie.
You want some more? Okay, let's get some more. Look at this. Now this I picked this up because this was a pure cover buy for me. This is Mango and the Bunny Man Zenoscope comic.
What is this? Is this actually a book?
This is Zenoscope.
Not a fruit.
This is Zenoscope Comics, right? And this was a pure cover buy. I love the first cover, and it was great. And I read the story, and I was like, oh, all right. I actually really enjoyed it. And issue number 2 is getting even better. We got a double whammy here. We got Peach of the Week and Cleavage of the Week. I thought, it's a welcome back. So why not?
Grams. And for Usagi Jimbo fans, he's there front and center.
That is what he looks like. When it turns 12 o'clock, he's like a gremlin. More about the moon, that shot. Yes, Peachy and Mirror Peach is always good peach. I'm a little disturbed that the rabbit got my attention first.
I would agree with the optimist, to be fair.
And can I just add how good the colour work is on this as well?
I know. I mean, the glare on the mirror, the glare on the mirror is absolutely incredible.
The anatomy on this is phenomenal.
Yeah,
even on the bunny rabbit.
It is, isn't it? And do you know what I like? They've matched her hair to the bunny's hair.
Yeah.
It's just subtle things like that you kind of notice before you notice anything else.
And is that your new cosplay idea? The bunny?
I was going to say his expression. This scene takes me back.
I bet he does.
It was a very peachy week, and to finish off, we have.
Oh yeah, very nice, mate.
Now this is obviously, look at this, Grimm Fairy Tales, issue number 49. This is.
You know what I'm going to say?
It's a good room. It's a nice room.
You know what I'm going to say? That is a lovely sword.
It's a lot. Do you know who else likes swords? John Boy Mayers.
John Boy Mayers, mate.
John Boy Mayers loves swords. I reckon he would approve that sword.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he would. I mean, this I love. Look at the lines on the wood here. Absolutely amazing. Like that is
It's quite inconsiderate of her just to like shove her sword in the ground for a bloody photo.
I reckon that's about a 6 or 8 ply wood. And that, I mean, she's just clearly damaged that. That's why they took it out of the shop, because they could see the damage where the sword went through.
Who is this, Charlie? Tell us about the story.
This is Grimm. I don't know about the story.
Yeah.
I haven't. This is Tom's pick. This is Tom's pick. Tom, do you want to tell us about the story?
My pick. I don't know nothing about this story either.
Because that's the reason why people buy this book, for the story. Quite clearly.
100% bought this for the story.
So Gal Gadot made an appearance, Peachy, and then we've got a sword wielding Peach is always a good Peach, and that is the premise of the story. If you ever see a sword wielding Peach, it's always going to be a good Peach. Never judge a book by its cover unless it's got a peach like this on it.
Absolutely.
The bar was so high, guys. So high.
It was.
We've had writers of fantastic indie books. You know, we've done our indies, we've done our covers of the week, we've done our keys of the week, and then we talk about ass.
Peaches, actually.
To be fair, we haven't started talking about donkeys yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. But as we're coming to an end, I just wanted to give like a little thank you to everyone that asked a question in last week's chat with John Boy Mayers. I just wanted to give a little back to the community, because you guys are always amazing. You always make this enjoyable. Along with these three here, it's always an enjoyable Thursday night. So I just kind of wanted to give a little bit back. I'm just going to try and open it up now. There we go. So this is what we're going to do. We have, can you all see that? Is it all working? Yeah. Let's just see if I can drag this over onto here. Right, that's not going to work. So what we have.
Oh, save £96.
We had 7 people. We had the comic deal that asked the question. We had the Poptimus UK. We had the Noob, Slim Comics, Triple G Comics, the Comic Room, Fuzzy Dumlock, and Slim Comics is in there twice. So that needs to be updated.
What a group of individuals! It is a team up.
A great group of individuals. So there we go. So these have been added to the Killer Comics Wheel of Misfortune. And
Misfortune, love it.
Misfortune.
Now the winner will receive a little gift from me, and it will be. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's just going to be a thank you to you guys taking part. So I think I will stop.
A mysterious package. Please don't open.
Yeah. It's a wheel of misfortune if the winner's from anywhere outside the UK for Charlie.
It is, yeah. It is definitely going to be a wheel of misfortune. But yeah, I'm just going to spin it and let's see where it ends up. Here we go.
All the anticipation.
Well, please don't be an American. Please don't be an American.
It is Slim Comics, and he is in America. Right.
Yay!
So that's that. But what I'm also going to do, as it's been a great show, I'm going to spin it 2 more times. 2 more times. We're getting 2 more. Why not? We're getting 2 more times. Right. Let's have another go. There we go. Right. So Slim, you need to drop me your address on Instagram, and I will be sending you some stuff. And let's go again.
I hope it's Slim again.
There we go. We've got Sean New,
Sean
New, and we've got one more go. One or three for luck. Let's do it one more time.
America.
And it is Triple G Comics. So, guys, honestly, that's like a thank you for you guys asking. It's going to cost me a fortune sending over to the States, but you know that's what happens. That's what happens. That's the whole point of it.
Well, and Triple G's in Tyneside, so you're going to have to pay for extra like security and packaging.
Security as well. But yeah, but that'd be great. It's been another great show. Thanks for everyone in the show. Tom, let's go back to old school. Let's go around, give you the solo screen, and you can talk about what's got coming up on Not Quite Mint.
Oh, awesome. So yeah, on Not Quite Mint, we've got a few this weekend. We've actually just dropped all the pre-orders on the website for August. So please head over and check them out. You can pick them up now. Next Monday, hopefully, depending on whether or not I can get time off, we should be able to be doing a previews flick through with these three gentlemen. So that'd be quite cool. So we're going to do that. And the Key Show will be returning the following week. So we'll be back doing our keys for the following week. So yeah, check us out on
notquitemint.com. Mr. Perpetual Impromptu, sir.
Hello, yes. I got over 200 subscribers, which is absolutely fantastic. Largely thanks to Sparks Comics for giving me a shout out on his show. So thank you to everybody who has subscribed. I did promise that it's 200 subscribers I would do a giveaway. I haven't worked out what that looks like yet. I might do the Wheel of Misfortune that we just seen there. But yeah, stay tuned for that. If you haven't already subscribed to me, you can find me at Perpetual Comics on the YouTube, and you can find me at perpetual.comics on Instagram. What you shouldn't do, guys, just FYI, is on the description of this video, please don't click any of the links, because it won't take you to any of our channels or any of our socials. Charlie, do you just want to maybe give everybody an update on that? Thanks, guys.
So I put everyone's link in the show when my screen was obviously minimized, and it basically just copies over where it says perpetual.comics. It just says perpetual.c ... So if you are lucky enough to to click on that, you will be greeted with not this Perpetual Comics, you'll be greeted with another Perpetual Comics. So I will be changing that shortly after, but if you just want to click on it for shits and giggles now, go for it.
The interesting thing is I would love everybody actually to follow that particular person, and arguably their content is better than mine.
There's no argument.
And on that note, Ben.
Hello, YouTube. I've got a new weekly series called Where It All Started, where I will mansplain to you about the first appearance or kind of first big key appearance of iconic characters. So far, I've looked at Spider-Man and X-Men, and then next week we got Captain America. So something for everyone. That's it. Yeah, so that goes live on a Wednesday at 8 p.m. and I might even treat my two viewers to two videos next week. I might post Tuesday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. GMT.
Ooh, nice.
Why not?
I think it's BST now, isn't it? I was corrected the other day by Luke saying that we're out of GMT, but I'm still saying GMT. But
it's Greenwich, isn't it? Well, like Greenwich hasn't moved.
I think so. I think so. And look here, Ben. Look, I love that X-Men Ben.
It was wicked video, mate.
I watched it today, and I tell you what, if you haven't had the privilege of watching it on a large TV yet in HD, make sure you do that.
The bigger you get me on your screen, the better.
55 inches of Benjamin.
It is.
Can't get any better than that, mate.
Honestly, Hydra, great show.
Anything about 3 inches is a bonus.
It is anything, yeah. Great show, guys. See you all on your channels next week. Thanks so much, Luke. Apex, it's always a pleasure, mate. Thank you. You guys are entertaining. We do try. We are just real guys giving you what you don't need. So, you know what I mean.
We're just poor arseholes giving you what you don't need.
We are, basically. Peaches, anything else. I like the Amazing Fantasy video, Ben. You're on to a winner here, mate. I would literally, it's looking forward.
I would agree with that, mate. I think your videos are quality.
They are.
Yeah.
Love them. 4 group of mates talking shits and giggles, and we touch on comics and a fruit and veg section as well. What more could you ask for on a Thursday night? Eh?
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't come here for the peaches? I mean, everyone comes here for the peaches.
And we get impromptu guests that hang out in the chat and just come on, because that's what we do. It's all
big shout out to Jeremy for giving
massive shout out to Jeremy.
Yeah.
Massive shout out. Probably one of the most stylish guests. One of the most stylish guests we've had on the show.
If everybody who is giving a thumbs up, we're at 23, we're nearly at 25 for the Tom Shuffle. If everybody could go and actually buy Made in Korea and support Jeremy, that would be awesome. That would be fantastic. So please do that.
That would be great. It is. See, look, the peach of the week. One
and
of my
doesn't get royalties, by the way. I just want to make that clear.
Not yet. I'm hoping to get issue 2 via PDF, but I'm just saying, Jeremy, if you're still watching,
PDF.
I want to see if I can get issue 2 via PDF.
But on that note, guys, I'm not going to go over what's on my show. 12 o'clock on a Monday, 9 o'clock on a Thursday. Who knows?
Where?
It might just be us four. No, I know, but I didn't. Yeah, all right, I didn't go into it. But you know,
are going to, aren't you?
But no, I'm going to.
No, I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to say that every Monday at 12 o'clock I do a show and every Thursday at 9 p.m. I do a show. I'm not going to say that because we don't need to say that.
Don't tell people that every Monday at 12 o'clock you do a show and then every Thursday at 9 o'clock you do a show. I mean, you don't need to tell people that.
You don't need to, I'm just trying to hang around, see if we can get the 25 thumbs up because I want to see a little twerk and jerk. Maybe that's another show. But anyway, it's always a pleasure having you guys on. If you guys can drop me the winners, if you can drop me a message on Instagram, I'll get them out to you. Slim, if you weren't in the chat tonight, don't worry about it. You didn't win nothing, but it's always good. So just drop me a message in the chat. It's fantastic having you guys on. And who knows, next week we might have a special guest. We might have someone in the chat, or it might just be us four. Either way, you're on to a winner. Have a great one, guys. Enjoy the comments that you read. And as always, it's good to stay geeky. See you later.